question I often get asked is Google Ads hard to learn? So in this video, I'm going to freewheel my way through this and just talk about the key components of a Google Ads campaign and what's easy, what's difficult, and give you some free advice on how to do it yourself. A Google Ads campaign, there's basically three components to a Google Ads campaign. The first is getting your keywords right. A campaign, if you get the keywords wrong, then however good everything else is, it's not going to work. So the idea is that you decide which keywords you want to bid for. So Google Ads is a big bidding auction. You choose which keywords, so which terms you want to rank for. Let's just jump into Google. Let's say I'm a roofing company and I want to rank. I want my advert. And when we're talking about adverts, we're talking about these links here, right? So it's not sort of ads in a sort of traditional sense of there's no graphics, there's no design. It's just text based. It's a search ad, as it's called. Let's say I want my business to appear as a sponsored result in or a sponsored link in Google when somebody searches for roofing near me. Well, that's the keyword. So you got to make sure that you're bidding for the right keywords. Now, roofing near me is just one example. It could be roof repairs. It could be depending on specifically what you do. Maybe you're doing a specific type of roof repair. Maybe basically the keywords, there's a whole kind of like separate discussion around what keywords you should be targeting for your campaign. But the point I'm trying to make is it's important to get the right keywords because everything else stems from the keywords, right? So you got to make sure the terms that you're bidding for are the right ones. Now, how many keywords do you need to add into a campaign? Depends. There's no hard and fast number. Typically you add, I'd say sort of 10, 15 or so, but depending on the search volume, you could just add one or two because each keyword has its own average search volume. Now I've made a video about keywords, so I will drop that in the description for you to have a look at. But the point I'm trying to make here is that you've got to make sure that you get your keywords right. Okay, they've got to be relevant to the service that you're advertising. Okay, the second component is the actual ad, right? So the ad in this case is this one here. So here's a good example, right? So both of these, I mean, Google Ads is changing the SERP, as it's called, the results page. Google changes it a lot, and you may remember a while ago the sponsored links, the ads used to say sponsored or sponsored link or whatever they used to say, but and back in the day they were sort of blue in the right hand side when they had a real difference between paid results and organic. Now it's all mixed in because Google know that they make more money when they're making the fact that these are ads. They're making it more and more subtle all the time because obviously nobody wants to click on an ad, right? If you know it's an ad, you think, oh, that's not really a proper search result. You'd click on the organic one, but as they're blurring the lines a bit. And that's why this recent change, and when you watch this video, at time of speaking, it's January 26, 2026. It's probably changed again. But at the moment they have this sponsored results thing here, and these are the sponsored links. So if we look at this one here, so this box here, just basically just that is the ad. Right, and that's what you have control over in your Google Ads campaign. That's what you set up, right? So making sure that ad is good, right? And there's a spectrum of like setting up that ad so it appears really well and converts really well, and setting it up badly, like everything. So This is kind of like you may, if you've never run Google Ads before, you may think, okay, well, that's just like Google creates that. Well, no, you sort of tell Google what to show there within reason. There are elements of it that Google does change around itself, um, but you do have control over this. So, for example, um, like this one hasn't got an icon. You see this checker trade one has got a little icon, a little sort of logo there. This one doesn't, right? So that is an example of whoever's set this campaign up has not done a good job, right? It's yes, it's appearing at the top of or position 2 for Roofer Near Me, but it's missing that icon. So that's a bit of a dropped ball, right? You should have a site icon there because it makes a difference. There's going to be a small percentage of people that are like, oh, that looks a bit dodgy. What's that about? There are other things as well. So, roof repairs nearby, that title, you're missing out on real estate here. You could say more. This call us here. You can get what are called site links that appear below the ad there. Let's see if we can find an example of one. No. But let's say if we just say roof repairs. Let's see if I can find one. Yeah, here's another one with a dropped icon as well. But these kind of links here, roof repair experts, fast roof repairs, these are added in the when you're setting up the ads. So you can basically, Google Ads is there's lots of little options and hidden little features that when you run campaigns, you figure out, okay, that's how you switch that thing on. So that's the ad. So getting the ad right is important. So there's the keyword and then the building of the ad and then the actual landing page, right? So obviously let's stick on this. So Avon Roofing Building, right? And number 1 roof repairs, Devon. Okay. So when we click on that, sorry, Avon Roofing Buildings, I've just cost you some money there. Apologies. This is the landing page, right? And I've said this before in other videos, like getting your ad to appear in Google at the top and then getting the click is only half the battle of lead generation. The other, at least 50% of the game, maybe more, maybe it's more like 70% these days, is actually the landing page, because you can get the clicks over relatively easily, but it's what happens on the page that matters. And like when you're building a Google ad, you're constrained within what Google Ads lets you put in the ad and all these things. And AI is becoming more and more a feature in when you're setting up your Google Ads. But on the landing page side, then it's completely up to you. You can choose the software that you use to build the page. You can build on a website. You can use WordPress. You could use a landing page builder like Unbounce or Landingy, or there's like tons of options. And then within the landing page, then obviously there's design, there's conversion. So what do you show? What sort of form do you show? Where does it appear? How does it appear? How does it look on mobile? There's like loads of variables when it comes to the landing page, and this is where really like this is where like agencies that run Google Ads campaigns successfully, this is the difference between really good ones and sort of also rans, is agencies that get the landing page piece really good, because that's where, if you're getting sort of 20% conversion rates, that's like 1 in 5 people that come to the page, look at it, read it, and then inquire. That's really good. The industry average is probably more like 5%, maybe less. It's impossible to say how well this page converts. This isn't too bad. They're doing quite a lot right. They've got a nice clear title there. They've got these check boxes. Get your quick quote. I mean, that form is okay, but like we build what are called multi-step forms, are a lot more engaging than that. And you know, one trick you can do is you can basically put it in, if you right click on inspect and then you put it into mobile, you can put it into sort of mobile view and you can have a look at it like that. It's not bad. Okay, I won't click on that. But yeah, there are a lot worse examples I've seen. So this isn't too bad. But anyway, the point here is getting the landing page really dialed in, as we say, dialed in. So the keyword says, you know, your company is appearing for the right search term. People see the ad, they read it, they click through, they get through to the landing page, they're convinced that your service will help them, and then they submit their inquiry, and then they inquire, and then that's a lead. So how hard is it? Well, all that is obviously quite a lot to deal with if this is your first time. It's not impossible. And if you, you know, you can learn how to do this online. You can learn from my channel and tons of other channels. How hard is it to learn? Well, let's look at a couple of examples. So this first one here, this is one that I ran. Well, but this is a campaign this is just the first 3 weeks of December last year, right? So this is recent. We stopped the campaign over Christmas. And you can see, just as a taste of what this looks like. So we put down £20, sort of $25, $30, $25, £20, whatever the conversion rate is, a day for this, right? So you can see what we got here. We got 495 clicks, and that basically a conversion rate of 90%. So that's using a well-optimized landing page like I was just talking about, and we got 95 conversions, right? All the rest, yeah, cost per click was super cheap, 77 pence per click is really good, and that's abnormally low, really. But it all depends on the campaign. I'm not going to share what the campaign was or the keywords, but it was quite a big B2C sort of, you know, category. So lots of search terms, and you know, relatively cheap to search on them. Right now, the cost per click was £4. So basically, yes, we were getting lots of clicks on the ad, but when somebody went through and actually inquired on the page, that turned into a conversion. That was £4 a conversion. So that's why, you know, it cost us £380 the 3 weeks of the campaign. Each conversion was £4, and that was 95 conversions. So you can see, like, for 3 weeks, that's pretty good. Like, that's a lot of business, right? Now, of course, not every conversion is going to turn into a customer. Then the game becomes, okay, well, how well do you get in touch with the client when they submit their inquiry? What's your close rate like? What's your system process? All that, which we're not going to go into here. But you can get a sense of what a campaign looks like. Now, this campaign was already running in November, so this wasn't from a standing start. This was already running. One that was from a standing start, just so you get an idea of, it's not always that good. Now, this was a different industry, and different industries are different. And this was a sort of, I'd say, a more competitive industry. So this was same time scale, actually, first 3 weeks of December, and we spent a little less, £345. But you can see here the cost per conversion was £69 versus £4 here, right? So a lot higher, and that's why we only got 5 conversions from 295 clicks, and the conversion rate was like terrible. This one was 20%. This one was under 2%, right? Now, the landing page was still really good for this one, but the industry was more competitive. And this was from, we just, actually the campaign was already running, but it wasn't running for very long. And the bidding strategy we were using for this one was a sort of a different bidding strategy to this one. So this will come down. I'm definitely. I think it's already like around 40 quid a conversion at the moment. But you get the idea that it does depend on the industry, the niche, and there's lots of variables. It's impossible to say, okay, well, that's you got to run it and then see how it goes. But that gives you a sense of sort of um, some actual numbers. When you actually set up a campaign, and these are the three principles that I use. It's keywords, ads, and landing page. It's kind of like get those three things, make sure that they're all sort of nicely dialed in and nicely aligned, so they all make sense. Because ultimately, somebody's finding your ad on Google. They don't know your business. They don't know your site. Right? There's unless you're a big brand, which you won't be if you're a local service business, probably nobody knows you. So it is possible. This does work. Um, yes, it takes a bit to learn, but you could figure it out yourself by just kind of studying it, nerding out, picking away at it. And I know people who run their own campaigns, and yeah, it helps if you've got some understanding of digital marketing, and if you're interested in it and all that. A lot of people aren't, but yeah. So that's just a sort of overview of Google Ads, like from a very top level. There's tons more that I'm producing all the time so I run a sort of small agency. So when I'm working on campaigns, I think, oh, that'd be cool. I just share it in this channel. So subscribe if you haven't already, and give it a like and all that good stuff. And take care. See ya.